Hey, this is Madison here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to compile NMAG, which is a micromagnetic solver that many people have had trouble compiling on their own. Now, this is mostly due to the software being very out of date and using libraries that are no longer maintained or have since become updated. So what I've done to make this process a lot easier is I've actually created my own GitHub repository that contains modified code, well actually steps to modify the original code that will make it compilable on modern Linux distributions. So here I'm running a VM that contains Ubuntu Server 17.10, which as of the time of recording is the most recent Ubuntu version. So in order to clone my repo, first you need to open up your terminal, which I've done by going to the applications and clicking on terminal, and go to whatever directory you'd like to clone my repo in. So here I go to my dev directory, which is where I keep all my development files. So in order to clone, you just use the git clone command, and this will take all of the files from my repo and put them on your computer. And the address is https://github.com/imhanberry1, which is my username, /NMAG mods. Now the capitalization matters, so make sure you take that into account, .git. So all this will do is copy all the files directly onto our computer along with the change history that may have been done beforehand. Alright, we see that process is done now. It only took a few seconds. So what we want to do now is we actually want to navigate into the directory that we just created by cloning it. So you might see here that we cloned the NMAG mods git, so we're going to navigate into NMAG mods. And when we go in, oh, looks like I made a typo. That happens. So we go into the NMAG mods directly, and then there's this tar file, which actually contains the original code, which is not modified. It contains a make file, which is something that I created, and then it's shell.py file, which is what I created as well, and an install.txt file. Now this install.txt file is important because it actually contains all of the steps that we need to modify this original code so it will compile on our current system, 17.10. So let's go ahead and open that up. I'm going to use gedit to open it up. Use whatever your favorite text editor is. So gedit install. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the background. If you guys don't know how to do that, it's Control-Z, and then you do BG. And now gedit's in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and split my screen between these two for easier viewing. And here are the steps. They're all laid out pretty simply, chronologically, in the order that you need to do things. So the first thing we need to do is actually install some dependencies that will allow us to compile this code. So let's go ahead and install those. I believe I have them pre-installed, so I do Control-C, Control-Shift-V to paste that in there, and then I just hit enter, put in your password. Alright, so I've already installed them. And then we also want to install some Python dependencies. That's right, because the previous version of the code actually had an outdated version of Python, so I went ahead and removed that, and now we use the Python that comes directly from your distribution, and doing so means we have to install the Python packages ourselves. So that's what we're using pip for. So we install numpy, pyvtk, ipython, py, ply, and scipy. As you see, they've already been created. It's important that you do this with root privileges, otherwise they won't install properly. Now comes the part where we actually get to modify the code, but before we modify the code, we actually need to untar or uncompress the NMAG 0.2.1.tar.gz file, which, again, contains the code that is unmodified. Now, to do that, you can just copy and paste this command inside the grave markers right here. Control-Shift-V, paste into the terminal. and this will take not even 2 seconds. So we see now we have a directory that we can navigate to. So I do Control L to clear my screen in case anyone's curious. So let's go into that NMAG directory that we just uncompressed, and you see that there is just the original code as you would see if you downloaded from the NMAG official site on the Soton edu page. So first thing we need to do actually is replace the make file and the shell.py file. So here the make file and the shell.py file is what we want to replace. Now the make file is in the root directory of the NMAG directory. So what we want to do is we want to remove what's already there. So remove the make file. As we see, it's not there anymore. And then since we have the make file and the shell.py file in the previous directory, we're just going to go ahead and copy those. cp make file, copy it into the current directory. And we also want to copy the shell.py file, but that's not going to be in the current directory. If we pay attention to the instructions, it's actually an nsym interface nsym directory. So first, once again, you guessed it, we have to delete the original shell.py script. And to do that, we do rm nsym interface nsym and then shell.py. Okay, so we've gone ahead and removed it, and once again we need to copy from the first directory up my modified shell.py file into that directory where the original was. So nsym interface nsym shell.py. Shell.py. And we've gone ahead and done that. So there's one last important step, and I guess you might call it multiple steps, but I'm going to call it one step because we can just copy and paste all of these commands directly into the terminal. And what this does is it actually updates the syntax for the pytables commands. So like I said before, we had to install more up-to-date Python modules using pip, right? So one of those was actually well, actually, I believe we installed that with apt. So we installed Python tables, which is a Python module that allows us to use pytables. And that library has been updated in terms of syntax since this code was first written. So this is going to replace our old camel casing with underscore casing. So you see, like, is pytables file, is pytables file. That's all it's going to do. So we just go ahead and do Control-Shift-V to paste it all in. Maybe click Enter on that last one. And it should be ready to go. So we are currently in our NMAG root directory, and as you see in the instructions, all we have to do is make. This will take around, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes on my machine. I'm using a Intel i7 from maybe around, I believe it was 2013. I got this secondhand off somebody. So it may be faster, slower for you depending on the age and the architecture that you're running. And I suppose I'll just speed it up a little bit here. Alright, there we have it. Right now, NMAG should be completely compiled. I will note that that took a little bit longer than I initially stated. It took about 12 minutes as opposed to 7. I think there may be some ways I could optimize my code. So I don't think, for example, I need to compile npich since we download it via the repository. But yeah, this is an open. You're free to fork my code in any way you want, make any changes you want, try to optimize it, and please let me know if you find a more optimal way to compile. Anyway, we can test our NMAG build by actually navigating to the bin folder. So bin, and you see we have nsym somewhere around here. There we go, nsym. It's actually a link to somewhere else, but that's fine. We can go ahead and execute nsym, and if it comes up, then we've compiled it properly. And here we have it. We have an interactive IPython session with the nsym library loaded. So we can, import nsym. There we go. We have it. We can see what's inside of nsym. We've We've got configuration, features, setup, everything. So I think we're good to go. All right, if this was helpful, let me know. If there's anything else that you'd like me to explain, let me know. You can contact me through the comments, and great. Talk to you later.